Welcome back to the yard. Today we're working on the Boxster. Now the other day the coolant light came on, took a look underneath and there was a small leak from one of the pipes. This pipe underneath, it's one of the main coolant hoses and it had cracked here and it was seeping a little bit of coolant. So we're gonna drain the coolant. Now under the car we can see where the leak's from. This pipe, it goes over there, and you can see it's had better days, looking really rough. I think this part here, this metal part, has been changed because it's a little shinier than the rest, and they didn't bother putting a new pipe on, which is ridiculous. So it's just leaking gently from there. I got a second-hand part, this bad boy, but it's nice and fresh, so I'll get some clamps on that and change that over. But whilst we're at it, we might as well drain the coolant. So we're going to do a coolant flush. Okay, due to the way the Boxster plumbing works, you're going to have to turn the ignition on. Oh, I've got steering lock on. Ignition on, and then when it comes to the fan, minimum blow but highest temp. That opens the heater valves to drain all the coolant, because otherwise some of it will still be in the system. Next thing, drain plug. Now to drain the coolant, you have to first take this panel off that I don't have, and maybe that's the reason why the coolant pipe's a bit messed up. So there's normally a plastic panel that covers this part of the engine. Take that off, there's just a couple bolts here, look, you can even see the hangers where it's supposed to be held on by. Once you've done that, you have this pipe. This is your drain plug, and this is the pipe to get the rest of the coolant out, which you have to undo anyway, which is perfect for me because this is one that's broken. The H5 hex. Hope this is the right drain plug, huh? Also, make sure the engine's nice and cool, because this is going to be otherwise steaming hot water. Well, that's slow. Maybe there's a way to make this go quicker. Undo the rad cap. I hope this bucket's big enough. See, this is why I don't need a gym membership. Yeah, it doesn't look so good now. You want to put a new one of these on with a new little washer, but as I don't have one, I want to put the old one back on. Next, I'm going to undo this hose. Alright, I've had to undo this a little bit just to access the rear. I might have to do a few more. But they are plastic 10mm holdings on little studs. So definitely not difficult. They're probably rusted a little bit, so it might need a little helping hand. One of my studs is actually falling out and was replaced with a screw, so but who cares, right? What are these plastic things for anyway? Alright, so now we can see it a little clearer. That's been changed because that's a Jubilee clip, and that's one of those clamp ones where you need to get some pliers or something on there. There's also a supporting one there, which is just a screwdriver, and it will pop. Bucket at the ready. Oh shit. There's way more than I thought would be in there. Yeah, definitely get a bucket. Sorry I didn't get that on film. Here's the pipe off. Now we had the cracked shite bit here. As you can see, it's completely mullered. And then on this side, we've got one of those clamps, which I just used some pliers and pried it far enough off the inside tube that's on the car, and it just pulls right off. And then the center one is this bracket here, which you need to get a screwdriver in. Unfortunately, mine cracked, but there you go. I'll probably have to get a new one of those. There's a top tip. These come off really easily. There's a prong right there at the top, and it'll pull off. Who knew? Little loaded bomb there. Let's try and get it all on. Whee! Beautiful. New pipe attached. And here, now we'll get this tray back on. Next is actually refilling it with coolant. Okay, now there's a secret compartment here. So you take that off, the oil cap. You might have to move the dipstick out of the way as well, which we shall do. Dipstick out of the way. Now the secret compartment, get a thin screwdriver, whatever you've got, is under here. Ta-da! And you can see that's the bleed valve. So we're going to want to put that in the upright position. Now once the reservoir is full, start the engine and let it idle, and periodically keep topping it up to keep it full. Now you can rev the engine a little and see if it drops any more, and again top it up. Now make sure the engine is always cool at this point and it never reaches above 80 degrees Celsius. Once you've done this a few times and the reservoir doesn't seem to be emptying anymore, put the coolant cap back on and rev the car to about 2,500 RPM for 5-10 minutes or so. This will allow the thermostats of the front racks to open up. Now you can allow the car to warm up. You'll hear the fans turn on and off, and let it cycle at least once. Now at this point there shouldn't be much pressure under the reservoir cap as the bleed valve is still open, so you can let out any pressure that has been built up. Now you can do this at a higher RPM, or you can go for a quick drive and then top it up again later, which is what I decided to do. I went for a quick drive around the block, had the bleed valve down, let the engine cool down, everything cooled down after a while, double checked, everything was as I left it, and that was it. Coolant flush done. Hope it was useful, hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you did. Again, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.